Right. So the other day I was filling my freshwater tank and water was spewing out of this compartment, and I opened up the compartment and it cracked right up here on the corner. And I did not film the ensuing swearing and upset behavior that followed that. However, once everything was collected, I decided I wanted to try and patch it as opposed to get a whole new tank, because this goes all the way on the other side of the rig. And the next thing I found out was that this white kind of see-through material is called polyethylene, and nothing sticks to it. So I couldn't patch it with like JB Weld or anything like that. Pretty much the best way I have heard to fix it is using a polyethylene welding kit, which I am about to attempt to use. So, full disclosure, this is the first time I am using something such as this, or attempting to weld plastic. So, I have no idea what I'm doing, really. But, if you find yourself in a similar situation, we can follow each other along in the dark and see if we can get this fixed. This kit comes with a few things. One is a welding iron, and this is going to be used literally to melt the plastic. And the second thing is it comes with a bunch of mesh, and this is going to add some strength to your fix. And the third thing is it comes with polyethylene plastic. So just like welding, where you're adding metal onto existing metal, we're going to add plastic onto existing plastic in order to fix that. And we're going to reinforce the fix with mesh. So step number one is you want to make sure that the area that you are fixing is clean and dry. So I'm just going to put a bit of alcohol on a rag and clean up that area of the tank a bit. First step is to take some of this wire mesh. I'm going to cut a portion that's going to fit and cover this right here, but also overlap. So I've gotten this trimmed and this is clean, so I've got this kind of fit where it's going to go. So the next step is I need to embed this in the plastic. So I've had my iron plugged in and getting hot. And we're gonna actually gonna kind of melt. Ooh, that melts quickly. Melt this area where it's split into a V kind of scenario there. There we go. And this melts very quickly. Surprisingly quicker than I thought it would. And I'm going to the way I'm going to do this, which is not necessarily according to the instructions directly, I'm going to add some material before I start, because I've melted this into a V right where it's at. Then basically like an iron, I'm going to push this on there and push it on with the plastic. And the objective is I have to melt this and melt the plastic so that they melt together and they weld onto each other. So I've added some material which is essentially covered up that crack. So the next step is to take this and, without burning yourself.
Aren't you supposed to be wearing special gloves?
Nah.
Last words.
I'm going to make this a little bit smaller because it does kind of go. It's as wide as I need it, but I don't really need to go that far. down. There we go. You want it to overlap where the break is, according to the instructions, by about 1/2 inch. So what I'm going to do is hold this here, and I'm going to press this down. There we go, until it sticks onto the plastic. And we're just going to melt that wire directly in to the plastic until it's embedded. So, remember when I talked about it's very hot and dangerous? While I was working on this, I burned my finger. I grabbed the cylinder instead, and this is going to be a really painful burn. This hurts a lot at the moment. So, once again, be careful if you decide to use this method, and don't be an idiot like me. End of note. Okay, so I had some microphone issues when I was originally recording this, so you're going to see my lips moving and me saying different stuff. But basically, I used one whole stick of the plastic to cover that hole. And as far as the method that I used, essentially, I would heat up the plastic underneath using the iron, and then I would add the stick to it, and then blend the new welding plastic in, keeping both plastics hot so that they bonded together. And as you can see here from the close-up, that the plastic was put completely over top the wire mesh, and that way it kind of becomes part of the tank. And in order to make sure that I got a good bond, I'm showing the color that it'll eventually be when it dries here in the video, which it should be more close to a milky white once it's done. And obviously the brown parts in there are impurities that were present that ended up getting scorched in the process. But to make sure the weld is good, I kind of rub around the edges and make sure that nothing peels and everything is all basically one single piece of plastic now. And just there, I ended up peeling up a little bit and noticed that it wasn't completely bonded. So I'm going to heat up that iron once again, and I'm going to blend that together by heating everything up and dragging it out a little bit slower this time.
Gonna unplug it?
Yep. Okay. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and turn the water on. Well, I've got the tank full up to about here, which is way above where my leak was. And so far, the plastic has obviously cooled. It's hard, just like the other plastic. It's not perfectly smooth. Once again, you can sand it. But everything seems to be holding. I don't see any water leaking underneath at this moment, so it looks like it was a good patch. And So the only thing left to do is to leave the water filled and come out here and check it a little bit later today, and I'll check it as we're traveling and make sure that I don't see any moisture or water come out of here. But so far, this seems to work. The kit, the welding kit costs, I think it was about 120 bucks, 130 bucks, which is a lot cheaper than buying a $500 water tank. So the tool to fix a patch, if you can get to where the leak is definitely cheaper, and also a lot less effort than trying to remove an entire tank. And of course, if you want somebody to replace your water tank for you, it's going to cost a lot. So definitely fairly easy do-it-yourself task. Obviously, if you don't burn your finger in the process like I did. But the polyethylene welding kit, as I said, it's about 139 bucks. I got it off Amazon. It was super easy to use, and definitely it has enough material for several fixes of several things, so it's a convenient thing to have. If you wanted to get one of these, this video is not sponsored by this product by any means, but there will be an Amazon link in the description below this video. So that's it. I hope this was helpful to you, and until we meet again, subscribe, click the bell icon, check out our website at henleyshappytrails.com, and happy trails.